Hi everyone, welcome to week one. If you have not already, I highly recommend that you go through and review this overview video. I give some detailed information as to what we are going to be learning and different assignments. This is going to move incredibly quickly over the summer semester. I can't stress enough that you stay on top of your assignments and make sure that you're reviewing information as soon as the folders open. That being said, let's do an overview. So week one, I go through and you're going to have it broken out into two separate folders. So week 1A and 1B will be for the very first week. As you can see, I have all of the folders laid out here. You will be able to see the next week on the Monday of every week. So basically, you'll get two folders every single week. Whenever you have an A folder, those are going to be due on Thursdays of the week, and the B folder will be due on Sunday. So, for instance, the semester opens June 6th, so Monday. You will have from Monday to Thursday to complete the A folder material, and then you will have from Friday to Sunday to complete the B folder material. There are some assignments that are going to be a little bit longer, so you will have more time to complete those, but it is important that you really stay on top of that information. So let's take a look at week one. At the beginning of every single week, I'm going to have a brief overview of what you will be going over. So for the first folder, so you will have from June 6th through June 9th to complete the first folder. So you are responsible for reading chapter 1. There's always going to be a quiz over the reading, so completing the chapter quiz. And then you will have two additional assignments that you'll have to complete, and I'll go over those in more detail. So because I know that sometimes it can take a little bit longer for you to receive books, I have included the chapter 1 book scan. I highly recommend getting the book as soon as possible if you have not already ordered it, because this is a necessity for this class. You will be reviewing and reading every single chapter in the book. So you will be responsible for reading the first chapter, completing the quiz, and then this first assignment you have, you will need to go over. I realize that the screen is not quite, I'm going to move it over. Okay. So you will be responsible for researching a nation's current health status and then sharing it with your peers in a discussion board. So we're going to use the Social Progress Index, and I really would like you to watch this TED Talk first to understand what the Social Progress Index is and how it's calculated. And then after you've watched it, then you will need to do the following for your discussion board post. So you're going to go to this website, and I'm going to click this, okay? And this is where you're going to search by country. Oh, we don't need to sign up for updates. Okay, so you're going to have this up, and you're going to select a country. So you can't choose America because you're going to compare the country that you choose with the United States. So you'll need to choose a different country. So for example, we're going to select Sudan. And really what you're going to be looking at is the different scores that are related. So you're going to click on the scorecard, and the really big important thing is that you address every single aspect of the questions. So we're going to go back and look. So in the discussion board post, the first thing that you're going to start with, you need to go create a discussion board thread and pick your nation. And this is a first come first serve, so the sooner you can do it the better, but pick a nation and then create a discussion board post, name the subject line with the with the identified nation that you're going to do. So this is claiming your nation. So that you're going to go back in, add your research to that same discussion board post, but it just makes sure that you're not going to do a bunch of research for a country that someone else has already picked. So then if you happen to post the same nation within seconds of each other, and this happens, it's happened in the past semesters, but you will need to make sure of the timeline in which it happens. So if it's within seconds to a few minutes, I'm not going to make you both redo your countries. But if it's, the next day, even 15, 20 minutes, the second person, I will be reaching out to them to let them know they need to select a new nation. So please get this done as soon as you can. So this is what you have to do for your discussion board post. You have to name the nation within the post and the geographical area in which the nation is located. Then you need to provide the following scores: the Social Progress Index score, and then the GDP, PPP, per capita, and ranking. So if we go back, this is found at the top. So remember, I selected Sudan as my example. So the two scores that I'm looking for are right here. So this is where this is the information that I also want you to include in your discussion board post. Then 60 points. So this is really the big part. Briefly outline the top 3 best and worst score areas for your nation and why you think they have those scores. So I don't need a big long paragraph per answer, but just a few sentences per area. So why do you think those rankings are the best for that country or the worst? So if we go back to Sudan, that's hard. So we would go through and identify what we think Sudan has as the top 3 score areas and the worst 3 score areas. So we're looking at these: basic human needs, foundations of well-being, water and sanitation, shelter, health and wellness. All of these, that's what you need to pay attention to, and identify what you think are the top 3 and the worst 3, and explain why. Then, in a paragraph, explain how your nation compares to the US, where they are the same, better, or worse, and why do you think those differences exist. Okay, so you need to go through, compare countries, so you can select up to 3 countries, but what you need to do is we're going to add Sudan. Oh, here we go. Sudan and the United States. And then you're going to put in here what your dimensions are. So you're comparing the ones that you identify as the top. So if you selected, let's do foundations of well-being as the top score for Sudan versus the United States. So this is where Sudan is. You can tell because it's that darker gray color or teal. And then we've got this one, United States, is the more brown color. So United States is clearly on top, and then Sudan is this one below it. So you're going to need to go through and compare that information for the United States and Sudan. Okay. And then why do you think those differences exist? So this information right here, so this is going to be 80 points. Then 20 points, all or none. You need to make sure you do this, is reply to at least 3 peers' posts about their nations. And they need to be meaningful. You can't just say, wow, great post, or I really wish I had thought of it like that. Ask questions, get into the information, and really, really make it an intentional, meaningful post. So that all together is 100 points. And this is something I highly recommend you starting on sooner rather than later, as this information is due Thursday. So you have a very limited time to do this whole project. So you have to do your own discussion board post and reply to at least 3 peers on their nations. So then this is where we are also going to start our ethical part of the class. So for the first ethical discussion board, we're going to dive into the various ways we approach issues in life and the health field. So this is a survey that you're going to do. So you'll need to click on this, download it. It's an Excel file, and you're going to answer questions as best you can. So I'll go through this and open it and show you all. So what you will need to do is go through. So if you notice, I'm going to drag the screen over again. Okay, so it does automatically pop up with the results first. So you will need to go into the survey. And you will be using this Likert scale, so 0 strongly agree all the way to 6 strongly agree, and you're going to be including your scores within these gray areas. So I believe our lives would be best if we followed the order found in the universe, aka the natural world. You're going to identify as close as you can, 0 to 6, what you most align with. And you're going to go through that for all of these questions. Then you'll go off to the results page, and it's going to tell you right here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Those are the different ethical viewpoints, and it's going to show you which one you most align with. So if we go back to I don't know if it's going to let me do that. Okay, if we go back to our discussion board, so what you have to do is, okay, take the survey, create the discussion board, 20 points. What were your top 3 approach styles based on the percentage? Just list these as the number of what the approaches are. 1, 2, or 5 is the example. You don't necessarily know which approaches these are specifically, so just list the number. And then 50 points. Write a reflection paragraph that addresses what did you learn? Do you agree with the findings? Why or why not? And then if there is a situation where 2 of your viewpoints conflict with what to do, how will you decide which one to follow? So if 2 of your top choices involve or are based on what is best for you and what is best for the most people, and you have to make a decision, how will you make that decision? Are you going to go based on what's right for you or what's based on the good of the group? And how do you make that determination? And then finally, provide feedback to at least 2 of your peers. So this one, you need to provide feedback to 2 other additional people on their posts. So these are all viewed by other individuals, and I want you to ask a question, provide analysis, connect it to your own learning, things like that. So that's a lot of information. This is the very first part 1 of week 1. So read chapter 1, complete the quiz, nation research assignment, ethics survey, and then the ethics discussion board. So all in all, a lot of information, a lot of assignment material to do. The first few weeks are very heavy, but then it does get a little bit lighter on the assignment work you have to do. Let me know if you have any questions. I know this is a lot of information. My email address is available. I'm going to move the screen again. Faculty information. You can find my email. It goes straight to me. Or I do have my cell phone listed here, email address listed here. You're welcome to call me, email me, and we can set up a time to meet over Zoom if you need by appointment, Tuesdays or Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. I'm happy to meet with you. Have a great first start to week 1, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with.